How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Good Morning Let's Basketball. We appreciate y'all tuning in once again. Got my co-hosts Victor, Daniel, and Mike in the building once again, and we're going to go ahead and jump straight into it today. So yesterday was week game 3 of the group play games for the NBA in-season tournament. We had a pretty good, solid slate of games yesterday. One of the games I thought was very underwhelming that I was pretty excited for was the first one that was nationally televised, San Antonio Spurs versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Wemby, not going to lie, had a little bit of a piss-poor performance out there that game. Kind of saw some things kind of out of his behavior and character this game. It seemed like he was getting pretty frustrated out there, kind of jogging back on defense at times. I know he had that tech for slamming the ball, which was kind of BS, but, still got it. Had 8 points, shot 4 for 15 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3. But dude was grabbing boards, though. He had 14 boards yesterday. Oklahoma City, they looked pretty solid. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander doing his thing with 28 points. Josh Giddey, probably the most boring hooper I've ever watched with my own eyes. Had 18 points, shooting 7-11 from the field. And then some other games I feel like were worthy of mentioning. The Dallas Mavericks actually getting their 3rd loss of the season to the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans have been playing kind of so-so this year. They're 5-6 on the season. Brandon Ingram had 25 last night. I thought they would start the season off a little bit better just because, last year when they started and they had a full healthy team, they were a top 3 seed in the West. And now they don't even have a positive record. But I definitely do see them turning things around. Then another game that I actually really wanted to talk about was part 2 of the Timberwolves versus Warriors. They played a little bit earlier last week. And Draymond, I know y'all saw the video of Draymond Green and Anthony Edwards getting into it about the foul call. And Anthony Edwards standing on his business saying, ain't nobody worried about you. And he was right. And dropped 10 points in the 4th quarter and led the Timberwolves to the win. Then they played again yesterday, and some idiots got into some tomfoolery, a.k.a. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and who else was even in the mess?
McDaniels.
It was McDaniels, yeah, a 2K generic. And then Rudy Gobert.
Don't disrespect him, bro. He's a solid-ass defender. He gave Tatum nightmares.
I guess. But McDaniels is solid. I'm just kind of hating, That's kind of my role on this show. But 2 minutes into the game, all that mess happened. Rudy Gobert was a victim of a sleeper choke from Draymond Green. And Draymond Green actually got suspended 5 games. That news just came out actually like an hour ago. Which, good for the NBA. I feel like Draymond Green's low-key on his way out of the league. I feel like there's just no more room for him in the league anymore. But I really did want to talk about these Minnesota Timberwolves, but we're going to get into that later. I don't want to talk about it too much right now. But they did get that second win over the Golden State Warriors. Anthony Edwards having 20 points. Karl-Anthony Towns doing his thing, shooting 12 for 26 from the field, having 33 points. Is there any things that you guys kind of pinpointed throughout these games yesterday? Any trends you noticed? Things going the right or wrong way?
All right. I'll start here because I do have a couple notes about what I wanted to say. First of all, what you said about Josh Giddey, I've never seen a player do. It seems like he does absolutely nothing, and then you check the box score, and it's just filled with stats. I totally agree. He is one of the most boring players to watch, in my opinion.
0 bag.
Every game, I'm like, what has Josh Giddey done? And I check the scoreboard, and he's got like 20 points.
Like damn near triple-double.
Yeah, every time.
18, 7, and 7 yesterday.
It's so weird how that happens. Second thing, talked about the Dallas Mavericks. Just wanted to mention Kyrie Irving didn't show up once again. Final thing.
He's the leading scorer.
Yeah, well, 17 points isn't showing up. So, anyway, another last thing I'd like to say is watching. I do want to give a shout out to DeJounte Murray. Without Trae Young, he went absolutely off. What do you have? 32 and 10 last game. For some reason, that was the one I decided to watch. I wanted to watch a couple teams that I haven't watched enough this year. And I think Detroit and Atlanta were the 2 perfect candidates for that. One hot take, though. Kevin Knox is back. Kevin Knox playing those crunch time minutes. Thought bro was out of the league, but he's still there. Detroit's the city of second chances. You got Kevin Knox. They got Marvin Bagley. They got someone else there that I can't think of at the moment, but
James Wiseman.
James Wiseman. That's exactly what I was trying to think of. Yeah. City of second chances. So Shout out the Hawks. Got it done last night. DeJounte Murray went off without Trey. What did you guys see?
Really quickly, since you said the Pistons, I wanted to mention Asar Thompson being a sleeper pick for Rookie of the Year. I think he's doing amazing for the Pistons, and like the stats he's putting up, insane on the rebounding end and this. I think steals. I think he's like top five in each of those categories for season leaders right now.
I believe he had 3 last night too. Just to pitch that in there.
I think I saw something earlier when you combine blocks and steals throughout the season so far, he's top 4.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
think
crazy
he's right
stat.
behind AD.
He's not far behind Anthony Davis on the list, who I believe is number 1. But that's pretty crazy for not only a guard to be doing that, but a rookie guard who played for the G League Ignite. That's pretty wild, dude. He's going to be really good for
Wait,
a long time, I
did
think.
you say play for the G League Ignite? You mean the
Overtime
elite?
elite. That is what I
got you.
meant.
Got you.
I'm so used to all those rookies playing on G League Ignite. I forgot that they were on overtime.
Yeah. It's so weird. It's weird how they've transitioned. But I mean, clearly, I guess overtime elite from our sample size, it's small, but we could say that they produce talent. So might see some more players end up there before they go to the draft.
Well, in terms of kind of what's been going on in the in-season tournament, I'm looking at the bracket right now for Group A, and we've kind of already hit on all of these points. But going forward right now, the Pacers are at number 1, and their next competition is going to be the Hawks and then Detroit. Honestly, I could really see them coming out, the Pacers, as the number 1 position team, just because that win against Philadelphia really puts them over like the other teams in the bracket. And then on top of playing the Hawks and then Detroit, I like the chances of them kind of remaining at number 1. The 76ers face again Atlanta and then Cleveland, so we'll see how that goes, but I definitely think they'll probably end up in the 2nd seed at least for group A.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad you brought that. Kind of glad you
Indiana's
brought that
been
game up.
balling. My bad.
They have. They're 7-4 on the year. I'm kind of glad you did bring that up. I did want to talk about this Pacers and Sixers game. Really good game, came down to the wire. Very high scoring. Pacers ended up taking the win 132 to 126. Tyrese Halliburton, bro. 33 points, 15 assists, 7 rebounds with 0 turnovers. Dude is, if y'all watch Tyrese Halliburton hoop, I don't want to say it's similar to Josh Giddey, but just seeing how the way bro shoots the basketball, it's kind of cringy. But hey, dude puts up stats, man. I'm going to say that this dude might be the best point guard in the Eastern Conference for sure. I think he's definitely
I'll
earning
say
Easily.
he's the easiest guy to pick overs for on Prize Picks. That dude puts up stats.
He does, man.
Dude.
And just the fact, like 15 assists with 0 turnovers is actually absurd.
So
Like how much you're dishing the ball and feeding your teammates, you didn't turn it over once against a really good Philadelphia team. That's very impressive.
Dude, a stat came out today. He has 58 points and 32 assists with 0 turnovers over the last 2 games. And that's the most assists in 2 games without a turnover in NBA history. So dude's been a straight playmaker and bucket getter.
Yeah,
Dude.
it's nothing new pretty much. He's really had a big improvement from last year, and hopefully he can keep it up. But yeah, dude's been tearing it up a lot. Another player I wanted to mention who was like a phenomenal pickup for the Pacers this year was Bruce Brown. Put up 14 points last night, 5-11 from the field. He gets in there, he gets some rebounds, gritty player, and he's a very solid defender. I would have loved to see him stay in Denver because that would have just made Denver already way more OP than they already are. But you know, he found a new home in Indianapolis, and he's been killing it, man. I was kind of skeptical in finding out what his role would be with the Indiana Pacers, if he was going to be a starter, if he was going to come off the bench, but he's really bought into that starting small forward role for the Indiana Pacers for sure.
Another player who's been huge for the Pacers too is Obi Toppin, coming from the Knicks. I think he's finally found his like place, with a team, because he put up 27 last night, 6 rebounds, and assist. I think Halliburton's finally like helping him get like those making those plays with those two on the court. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I really like how many shooters the Pacers have, man. They really make Halliburton's assists so easy. Like when you got Healed in the corner, you got Miles Turner who could stretch the floor, you got Naismith. Like these guys are solid shooters. I mean, Matherin's not as great as those guys. Well, he's not as great as Buddy Hield. He can contend with the others, but I mean, Matherin is his own breed as well. But I just think they have such solid, consistent guard shooting that just driving kicks. I mean, whenever I watch Tyrese Halliburton get his assists, it's literally just driving kicks. They're always just knocking down the threes for him. So it is fun to watch because they convert a lot of their field goal attempts, and that always makes watching basketball fun, at least in my opinion. So fun team to watch.
Definitely. That shot making ability to me is like what really separates NBA and college. Like it's so hard for me to watch college games now, bro. Just the lack of shot making ability just kills me. I can't stand it. No, I'm not saying I can go in there and do better because I can't, but like should be able to hit some of these goddamn shots, boys. Some of these mid ranges in college, it's so hard to watch, bro.
College is more competitive, though. I'll give it that. Watching college teams compete, I feel like it's more intense. But that's just me.
You know, it really depends on that topic because, like, if you got a college game on and it's like Chattanooga versus Dayton, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna watch the Pistons versus the Grizzlies instead. Like,
who's watching that game though? Who's watching Chattanooga Dayton?
Diehard fan, bro. College basketball fans are some of the most diehard, like stand up for their beliefs people I've ever met in my life. Like they will sit there and tell you and actually believe that it's better than NBA professional basketball.
I guess we got a luxury of watching primarily Big Ten basketball, and that's always pretty competitive. Good teams.
Big Ten basketball is probably the most overrated conference, but that's a different conversation for a different day.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I didn't say it was overrated. I said it was competitive.
And competitive is like another way of saying they try hard, you know. He gets on the floor. It's like showing a player's hustle highlights when they get drafted, like what they did with Jaime Jaquez.
I'm glad you brought him up because I was about to say, have y'all seen Jaime Jaquez? He's been fucking balling.
He's been playing decent.
What did I tell y'all?
Vic was right.
Man, keep that shit.
After
I'm buying it.
After showing the hustle highlights on draft night, you know, that's never a good sign. But Vic was right. Jaime's been balling,
trying to tell y'all, man.
Steal of the draft.
I don't know, man. We'll see. But, you know, it wouldn't be an episode of Good Morning Let's Basketball if we didn't talk about the Lakers. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this. Yeah, I know. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this first segment, talk about the Lakers and Grizzlies. Pretty much just a blowout throughout the whole entire game. Grizzlies falling to the Lakers 107-134. Los Angeles Lakers, though, undefeated in the NBA in-season tournament. They're at a 6-5 record right now. I truly believe that when Anthony Davis doesn't have his hair braided and he's rocking the afro, he's a top 3 big man of all time. That's so fucking facts, bro. Like, bro, Fro Davis is a menace. 19-11. I can't remember how many blocks he had, but I saw him send at least 2 or 3 into the third row of the Staples Center, or it's not even called the Staples Center anymore. It's ridiculous. Austin Reeves even said that they're not letting him braid his hair anymore because when he's Fro Davis, he's just him basically.
Dude,
but yeah, you know,
I don't know. Shout out StatMuse. They came out with a stat of like his different like hairstyles and how well he performs. I'll pop that up in the video. I thought that's where you were getting that from.
No, I wasn't. I saw. Oh my god, stuttering like a motherfucker. I found it out. Like I got the idea from Austin Reeves, but then I thought about it. Every time I've seen Anthony Davis hoop with this fro, like dude is just he just kicks it into another gear. I don't understand it. But another player that's really kind of got into their own this game for the Lakers finally was D'Lo. D'Lo's kind of one of those players that we kind of shit on a lot on this podcast, especially Daniel. I know that's kind of his boy. But shot 8 for 12 last night, 6 for 8 from 3 with 5 assists and 24 points. Like, why can't he do that all the time?
Because he ain't on the
Nets. He's either doing that or he's playing the way Taurean Prince played and scoring 8 points. Like, it's just, I don't understand. Like, his game is just so different, like, depending on the night that it is. Like, I don't get it. And is Austin Reeves completely out of the starting lineup for the Lakers? I believe he is now. I remember it was a big thing when it first happened last week, but he's still playing 29, 30 minutes off the bench, and he's still putting up still good stats. He actually had 12 rebounds yesterday, for Christ's sake. Shot 4 for 4 from 3 with 16 points. I feel like he's the guy that'll get you the same amount of stats, whether he starts or not. So I'm kind of glad that they figured that out. That's actually a pretty good move. I mean, we know the Lakers like to throw a bunch of different lineups throughout the season as well, but this one definitely seems like it's working with Tarian Prince in there and Cam Reddish too.
Cam Reddish, I was not expecting him to start games. I don't think anyone was. And I dissed him on the last pod, but respect. It's nice that he found a system he works in, and then he works good enough for them to start him. So shout out Reddish.
I was kind of confused on what his role in the rotation was going to be on this team, if he was even going to get in at all, really, to be honest. But shit, now he's in the starting lineup. He's probably playing the 2 role for them. And he's a big 2 guard too. Like he's a pretty big dude to be playing the 2, which is good. I mean, 6'7". Good
I'm glad you said that, bro, because he's listed at 6'7", but when I watch him on TV,
looks
bro,
bigger.
He looks so much taller than everyone. Like, it's so weird. And now that he's playing the 2, even more so, bro.
He's got to be 6'9", I believe.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I feel like when he was at Duke, they had him listed. I think at Duke, they had him listed at 6'8", 6'9". So I don't really know why they have him at 6'7" now, but he looks a lot bigger than that, bro. I'm going to be honest. He towers over D'Lo.
Trying to nerf him.
No, for real. He kind of like, if he can like fill into the expectations that he had when he was going to get drafted, he could become like a Paul George-like player. He does play very similar to Paul George. I noticed that a lot when he played in college too, with Zion and RJ. But, his career hasn't gotten off to the greatest start. But I feel like now that he's in LA, he's kind of obviously playing under LeBron James and the LA Lights. He's kind of getting into his and kind of finding his personality a lot more than he did previously in his career. I mean, didn't really succeed in Atlanta. Didn't really expect him to be honest. Very few people do, but I'm glad to see him kind of filling into a role and actually finding a starting spot with the Lakers.
I just for the record, I just looked at the box score from the Lakers game. AD had 6 blocks last night.
Yeah. See, he could have had a triple-double with blocks.
That's
you got
crazy.
4 more blocks. I know asking for 4 more blocks is kind of a lot, but like it's not impossible for him to do that.
All right, if you guys made it this far in the video, please give us a like or a subscribe if you've enjoyed our content. We try to upload weekly. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating. It helps us out a lot. And thank you guys for so much support we've been getting these past few weeks. But back to the pod.
One of the things that I wanted to mention, because you kind of brought up Austin Reeves and his role on the Lakers now, taking I wouldn't even call it a backseat because he's been instrumental and crucial to that team winning. But what I did want to say is that his ability to, and I think LeBron had said it post game a few nights ago, that like his ability to go on the bench basically or not be in gameplay all the time and have Austin Reeves be the primary ball handler, because that's at least what I've seen so far with Austin Reeves coming off the benches. He then becomes really like the point guard of that team, and he's the facilitator. And what I really like about when he's on the court is how much that ball gets passed around. The only reason why I specify that is because right now what I've been noticing is that there's been a lot of isolation like offense. It seems like a lot of these teams with a lot of superstars or really good players are basically just saying exactly what I said. I don't think I said to do this, but I had some comment about it, which is that like you can't just have 3 superstars and say, all right, you get 5 seconds on it, you get 5 seconds on it, you get 5 seconds on it, trying to make a basket.
Like the Suns.
Yeah, but it's not just the Suns, right? It's the Suns, it's the Clippers, it's the Lakers when LeBron's on the court. There's a lot of teams that are doing this. Even the Mavericks are somewhat guilty of that. The only true teams that are doing like incredible ball movement is the Nuggets, the Celtics. And when you look at how good they are on the court, facilitating the ball and passing the rock does work. Isolation ball looks like it's just become a big thing now that you have these teams that are pumped full of superstars. And in the long stretch, I just feel like it doesn't work out. So it's really refreshing, kind of, even though I have my opinions about Austin Reeves, that he's able to kind of bring that element of great offense to the Lakers, because I think that was a huge thing that they struggled with, is when LeBron's not on the court or when LeBron's not playing isolation ball or AD's not playing isolation ball, can we be a good basketball team? Can we dish it out to guys that don't normally get shots up, but then can make them. So Austin Reeves, good for you.
To speak to your point about ball movement too, and to just combine the point how we were discussing Cam Reddish, the other night, I believe it was the Rockets game, Cam Reddish knocked down 3 clutch threes in the last 3 minutes of the game to put it away. Wouldn't be possible without that ball movement. Good point.
I just think especially when you look at that situation, there's been that stigma around guys like Curry and guys like LeBron where it's you have to be the one to take the last shot or you have to be the one to take the important shot. And I think in a way they've kind of bought into that a little bit more so lately, because some of the games that I've been watching, it there should be a little bit more ball movement than just passing it to the guy that usually has a high percentage and just takes that shot. You know what I mean? There has to be an element of getting somebody open instead of just taking a contested shot that 50 out of 50, or I don't know what the percentage would be. 50% of the time goes in and 50% of the time doesn't.
Do you prefer college basketball over NBA? Just opinion. Because you prefer the ball movement?
Me and Kevin talked about this. I don't prefer watching college for the same reason that Kevin doesn't, which is the lack of consistency and ability to make the shots. But I will agree with your point from earlier that I think the level of want in each of those games is a lot higher, and therefore that intensity and that level of drive does cause people to make mistakes. I mean, if the NBA played all 82 games college players play to try to get a chance at making the NBA, then you would see a lot of missed shots from NBA players too. I think less, but the same.
Real quick though, we mentioned NBA, we mentioned college. Y'all ever watched overseas basketball? You were just bored as hell one day and just threw on a Spanish league game or something?
I think I've seen more G League games than Euro League games, unfortunately.
I know where you're going with this.
I'm bringing this up because when my family visited me for my birthday about 2 weeks ago, me and my pops were bored in my living room, and I threw on what I thought was a soccer game, Barcelona versus Real Madrid, but it was actually basketball. And I remember the halftime score of the game was 35-32. And my dad was like, yo, what the fuck? This shit's low scoring as hell. So then the second half started, and there was actually a handful amount of NBA names I recognized that were playing for Barcelona and Real Madrid. Campazzo, Hernan Gomez, Abrinas. He was on the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Abrinas, dude. I
Alex
forgot
Abrinas.
about him, man.
Yeah, he is. He was playing. There was I saw a handful of names I recognized from the NBA. And bro, low key, if y'all ever have the chance to watch those games, I definitely think you should. First off, the atmosphere is just completely insane. Also, just the way they play is so fast and so hard that it's these guys want it, man. They go out there and they play rough.
How many games are in overseas basketball? Do you know?
To be honest, I couldn't even give you a decent guess of how many games or what the frame of their season's like. I'm assuming it's similar to NBA, start and end time. I think their season might be a little bit shorter. But hey, man, they go out there and they hoop. They have, because you guys mentioned ball movement, they definitely move the ball a lot. The rules are obviously a lot of distance, so they can sit a big man. Since they don't have defensive 3 seconds, they can just sit a big man in the paint, which is usually what teams do, because no one's pulling from 30, 35 feet in an overseas league. That's seen as a bad shot. They got to move the ball. They rarely ever shoot off of one pass either, too. It's always at least 4, 5, 6 passes before anyone even shoots, which is, if you played high school basketball, you know that in practices, your coach would yell at you, all right, before anyone takes a shot, we need 5 passes. Even if you get a wide open look, you weren't allowed to shoot it. But, these guys, they definitely follow that rule for sure. But yeah, overseas basketball is actually incredibly entertaining to watch, I think.
And for all the fans that say we don't know ball, just wait till we take over those Euro League stats. We're going to be crazy on this podcast. You just count on that. We're all taking assignments on EuroLeague games this upcoming week, and we're about to learn this league like the back of our hand. So get ready.
Nobody's covering EuroLeague basketball. Miles is 100% lying too. We will not be doing that shit. But one day, maybe one day, when we get to that level that we want to be at, you'll see us covering some EuroLeague basketball for sure.
Wow, I just looked it up. European basketball and overseas basketball usually ranges of about 20 regular season games.
That's good though, because that means every single one matters.
Yeah,
They
no,
play
and
That's
hard.
why they play so
it
hard.
it says too, like it's most of them centered on their home region, so it's like a big deal. It's like football games, like
Yeah.
you're playing a home or away game. It's I don't know. That's pretty cool. I think the NBA should. No, never mind.
Daniel was just about to say maybe the NBA should shorten their season to 20 games.
No, but I 100% think that. Like, I have no problem saying that. I just didn't want to bring it
no,
up.
for sure. Because you're like, oh, never mind. But I knew exactly what you were about to say.
Yeah.
I like that idea, but maybe not 20. Maybe like
No, 20 is too little.
maybe like
20 is
50.
crazy.
There still needs to be that element of NBA season where like you're like, is there NBA on today? And it's like, fuck yeah, there's NBA on today. There's NBA on damn near every day.
No, that's the plus of the long season though, is at any given night there's NBA games, except for like some given dates. But it's nice, at least for us as students coming back, and we just we know that there's always going to be games on.
There's a game
So
on right now.
It's
Boston
relaxing.
versus like Hornets, I think.
I know I'm crying that I can't. It's Boston 76ers, and I'm crying I can't watch that. So
I had an idea pop into my head since we're already off topic, but so you know how the NBA is trying to expand the league and add more teams. I think Adam Silver said he wants a team in Montreal, Canada, or something the other day. I saw an article about it. So if they were to add these teams, do you think if they kept the same amount of games, 82, during the regular season, this would make the regular season more competitive or less competitive with the addition of more teams?
More
I
competitive.
feel like it kind of depends on how many teams they add. Are they adding one team, two teams, or like four?
They're going to have to add a team in the East and West. They can't have it like uneven. So it has to be either 2 or 4.
Yeah, I was thinking they were going to add another team in Canada for sure, Vancouver and Montreal, and that team in Vegas is 100% going to be a thing too. I think that's definitely what everyone wants to see, which is stupid.
I don't like the Vegas.
I don't know really who like wants to see that. I really don't.
LeBron and Shaq have talked about that they want to own an NBA team in Vegas. It's gonna happen, bro. LeBron said it's gonna fucking happen. The next expansion team we see is gonna be a Vegas team for sure. And there's a lot of already. Yeah, and there's other sports have already added teams to Vegas, so like we know it can be done. Football, they added the Oakland Raiders, they're the Vegas Raiders now. Hockey, the Vegas Golden Knights. Like they know it can be done, so they're definitely going to add an NBA expansion team in Vegas before anywhere else. Yeah, like they will 100%. There will be an NBA team in Vegas within the next 5 years to a decade.
Have you guys heard the story about in 2007 how disastrous the All-Star game was in Vegas because all the players just got blasted every night? Have you heard about that?
No.
I feel like there's some truth to that, man.
Oh, there absolutely is some truth to it.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
The whole team in Vegas is dangerous, bro.
It is, bro. And especially like NBA players, bro. Like they got all the money in the world.
Yeah.
Like
that's like the worst person.
You're gonna need the right guys over there, bro. You can't have players like you have on the Hornets playing for Vegas.
There's also just no incentive, I feel like, I don't know. I guess there is incentive because like you go into Las Vegas, you gamble, you get to go watch a game. Like that's cool, but like, man, I would just hate to see the NBA stoop to that level.
If I could pick anywhere, bro, I'd pick Kansas City. I think Kansas City is the perfect location for an NBA team. You don't like that? I mean, okay, Seattle. Yeah. Obviously Seattle deserves
They had a team.
But okay, obviously Seattle first, but if we're going like completely brand new place, Kansas City. That would be sick.
I saw them talking about adding a team in Mexico City. That'd be very different.
I don't know. The best thing that the NBA could do is add 2 teams and cut the amount of regular season games down by 10. So 72 games, 2 extra teams. That would allow for a game the same way that we see it so much, like, you know, like all the time. And it would just make the games way more competitive because everyone's obviously that much more incentivized to fight for wins during the season.
I don't 100% disagree with your intro, but instead of 72 games, I say 66 games. Like the NBA had that one year, the lockout season, and the season starts on Christmas. Like that one season. Remember the year they had the lockout? 66
wouldn't.
games. The game started on Christmas.
I
That was
don't
a
like
fire
that.
NBA season.
That was
You
a
don't
good
like it?
season, but that's late as hell.
Yeah,
I don't
I
want to
don't know
wait
if I
till damn near
Yeah.
the new year to see a fucking NBA game. That's
Neither
a
would
long
Kevin.
time.
That's the thing. Like Kevin wouldn't want to wait till December either. I don't think.
I could wait. With my life,
Okay, yeah, we
I
can
could,
all
I
wait.
could,
We
I
can
could
all sit on our
100%.
thumbs and wait, but would you
Yeah.
actually want to?
I was dying this year for the NBA season to start,
Motherfucker.
and I could barely wait, and I can't even imagine that starting that late.
But 66 is surprising as a number to hear from you because I would have thought that you would have gone more games, honestly. I didn't know if you agreed with the notion
No.
of shortening the season a little bit.
Yeah. Well, don't think too much. I was going to say 66 because they did play 66 games in that lockout year and it worked out. And they started on Christmas. So, I thought it'd been cool. But imagine though, bro, you wake up on Christmas Day, like you're not a kid anymore. You're not excited about getting toys. So why not like the start of the NBA season? Like that's
Christmas
fire.
Christmas Day is my absolute.
That's just a part of aging, bro.
That's my favorite day to watch NBA. Like not even close is
Yeah.
Christmas Day. Those
'Cause
games
there's
are
games-
so fun to watch.
Games all day. They got the special jerseys. They got
Not
the special
anymore.
sneakers.
Yeah.
Not
They
anymore.
took them
but-
away from us.
I miss those. Nike can make all these bullshit city jerseys, but they can't give us a Christmas jersey.
The
Facts,
sleeved ones were hard. Those are
Bro.
my favorite ones.
The
Why has
jerseys
there
were tough.
never been an ugly sweater jersey, bro? That's such an easy idea. It could be so iconic. The ugly sweater
That's pretty
Christmas
good.
jerseys.
Oh, that's
It
pretty
has
good.
to
I'll
have
give you
been
that.
pitched.
That's a decent. Yeah. I don't hate that.
I do want to add on back to the topic of competitive or not competitive from expansion teams is it'll eventually be competitive, but traditionally when expansion teams get added, they're dog shit. At least in the NBA. I know the Knights are relatively new to hockey and they just won, right?
They
don't
won
watch
their
too much
first
hockey.
year as a team. Their first
Yeah.
year as an organization, they won the championship.
No,
Okay.
I don't think. I think they
Top-
made the
first.
That's
No.
different.
though.
They won. They won the championship their first year as a team.
Oh, shit.
Isn't that fucking sad? Like for the rest of the league.
It's because that
Hey.
Vegas market, bro. They got the money for that. But anyway, that's off topic. Fuck hockey. Traditionally in the NBA, expansion teams have been bad. With Toronto, Vancouver, it took them a while. Obviously, we saw Charlotte, the Pelicans. If you consider them an expansion team, I do. They weren't very good those first few years, but it'll be competitive eventually. But just for the record, it's going to take time for those teams to get competitive, just with like the expansion draft process and all that.
Do you think
Go ahead.
do you think the potential expansion rules would help at all? Or do you think that it would just follow the common trend of teams being bad when they enter?
I think if there's any chance that they're going to be good, it's now, just because of how much parity there is in the NBA. Because there's so many good players and role players. We're at the highest talent we've ever seen. So teams have the best chance in the current modern NBA to be good right off the bat as an expansion team. But I still don't think it's enough. Especially, is it 8 players or 6 players you can keep? I think it's 8.
Yeah.
8 players on your roster you get to keep. That's like all the Nuggets play, bro. They play like 8 people. That's all the Clippers played last game. So like that's like your rotation. So you're just gonna get like bits and pieces from other teams. Like you might get like a Jackson Hayes, you know. Is that guy gonna be a playoff performer? Probably not. We'll see
Good.
if he proves me wrong though.
I have 3 NBA players, and you guys are gonna try to tell me who you guys are gonna start, bench, and cut. So for the first one, we got Tyrese Halliburton, Tyrese Maxey, and LaMelo Ball.
I think I'm going start, bench, cut in that order of the players.
Who? I'm sorry.
100%.
Who was the
Same,
second one?
honestly.
Halliburton, Ball, and who was the second one?
Tyrese Maxey.
Maxi.
Yeah, that one's kind of easy. I'm going the same thing.
We all fucking. Yeah.
That's I hate to be that guy.
That's
I
it.
want to make it different, but nah.
Yeah, that's a straight.
You got to start
I mean,
Tyrese
you-
for sure.
You could argue Maxey or Halliburton, but I think I would probably choose Halliburton.
Just because of right now, like this season, how good he's been playing. Yeah, you'd have to.
I don't see a world where you can argue Maxey Halliburton. I think Halliburton's bona fide starter. No matter
Maxey's
what.
been hooping, man.
Yeah, but so is Tyrese Halliburton.
I know, but like, yeah, I'm saying you could argue.
Maybe you start him for like getting some experience as a young guy. But Tyrese Halliburton's also young, so I don't know why you do that.
All right, here's the next one: Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Ooh, that's tough.
That's
I'm-
pretty good.
I'm going. Say the names again. Not D Book
Devin-
and not.
Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I think I'm going. Oh damn.
This is tough.
I got mine. I got mine. I'm gonna go ahead.
I'm
I'ma
a
shake the
cut. I'm a
fucking
cut
room.
Booker. I'm a cut Booker.
That's what I was gonna say too. I'm starting Ant. I'm benching Shea, and I'm cutting Booker. His bitch ass. I don't need to elaborate further.
I think I would bench Book and probably cut Alexander.
I feel
Honestly.
like no matter what I say, it's gonna be a bad take. I'm gonna cut Booker, start SGA, and have Edwards come off the bench.
You're gonna start SGA over Ant? Are you out of your mind?
Right now, yes. Just right
Wow.
now.
Right now,
buddy.
In 3 years, give me Ant. But right now, I'm taking SGA.
All right, right now, I think I do. I feel like y'all were a little bit disrespectful to Devin Booker.
I put him bench.
I'm gonna start Devin Booker, bench SGA, and then cut Ant.
Bro, but no one's
putting
no,
Ant?
no one's as
I don't.
competitive as
I
Ant.
hate. I know, bro. I hate to do it, but
That's just competitive.
like-
He's good.
no, he's a fire athlete. But I think I would have to
Monster.
cut him in this situation.
Just a side note, isn't it crazy how when Ant got drafted, everyone was like, this guy would rather play football than basketball. And now the narrative has completely flipped to Anthony Edwards is the most competitive, wants it the most guy in the NBA.
Yeah, like that was like one of his biggest things that, like one of his biggest flaws when he got drafted is they're like, does this guy like really want to play ball? Like he can't lead a team. He's not a leader. He's very selfish. That narrative has completely flipped.
That's like
flipped.
that's honestly the main reason why I take him over Booker. I
Yeah.
know Booker wants it. I'm not saying Booker doesn't want it, but
He doesn't
Ant's
want
just
it
a
enough.
dog, bro. Ant's a dog. He
He's a dog, bro.
competes.
Devin
Well, he
Booker's
goes
too
out there and
busy,
just-
too busy pulling up in classic cars with the drop top with his buddies when he's not even playing a game. When he's not even
Yeah.
playing a minute, he's just sitting.
Yeah, bro. I'm
Was
gonna be
that
honest. I
Beal?
don't think
Was that Beal in the back seat of that thing? Was it
No.
Katie, Booker, and Beal? There was someone in the back. I didn't
It
know
was
who it was.
randoms. I'm pretty sure. It was just his boys.
Oh, I thought KD was in the
Yeah.
passenger. I'm tripping.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, bro. If I'm a GM, there's no way I'm gonna have Devin Jenner on my squad. Go ahead and hit us. Go ahead and hit us with the next start bench cut
All right.
before I start.
Wow.
All right, so the next one is Anthony Davis, Giannis, and Embiid.
Ooh.
Start Giannis.
All right. Start
Cut
Giannis. I'm
Davis.
benching AD. I'm cutting Embiid.
I'd say I'm
He's only-
benching. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say my reason for cutting Embiid. He's the only player that doesn't have a ring and he can't lead a team. That's facts. And y'all know that's facts. That's why no one's saying shit.
I'd cut AD, bench Embiid, and start Giannis. I do sort of value Embiid's willingness and ability to show up more so than AD's. And in a lot of cases, when AD is not having a fro, apparently, he's just not the same AD. There's too many question marks around him. Too many question marks. So, yeah, I'm cutting AD.
Is Embiid showing up, his points per game dropping 10 points in the playoffs? Or when he made it past the second round?
Yeah, at least he was
'Cause
playing in the playoffs.
He didn't do that
And
either.
At least he wasn't playing. At least he was playing in the playoffs and not hitting the fucking.
There's a common denominator between all these three players, and Embiid doesn't have it.
AD doesn't have it.
Yes, he does. He has a ring. You fuck.
I know, but like, does he though?
Yeah,
Yes, he
he does.
does. Yes.
It's on his It's on his fucking hand, and he'd smack you with it.
Yeah.
He'd miss. He's too slow.
I think initially I was going to go bench Embiid, cut AD, but there is a solid point to be made that Embiid does not show up in the playoffs. And honestly, man,
So he's on the bench.
Embiid is low-key just as injury prone as AD is. Embiid misses a lot of games. Maybe he's
Does.
not quite as injury prone. I don't know the exact stats. Just gut tells me that he's a little less injury prone than AD, just as much, but it's not by that far. But I'm gonna go. Ooh, I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna bench AD. I'm gonna start Giannis. I'm gonna cut Embiid right now. Maybe
As it
that's
should.
recency bias because AD's been hooping this season, but I don't know.
I don't know. I'm going to start Giannis, bench AD, and cut Embiid. You guys basically hit the points. I don't need to elaborate any further.
I think if Giannis wasn't that other player, this would be a much harder conversation. Giannis is the bona fide starter, though.
For sure. All right, for the last one, it's kind of a fun one. So it's going to be 4 NBA duos, and it's going to be a start, bench, cut, and a trade. So Bron and D Wade, Shaq and Kobe, MJ and Pippen, and KD and Curry.
Wait, what is it? It's Shaq and Kobe, Bron and D Wade, Katie and Curry, and what's the other one?
MJ and Pippen.
Where's Brown and Tatum?
What?
They don't have a ring.
In July they will.
Yeah.
Honestly, I
No.
think KD
Runner-up
and-
ring?
Eastern Conference Championship ring.
Maybe
They don't
in
make
season
those.
tournament.
I'm probably gonna go with Curry and KD just because talent wise and ability to score.
Just
I
them.
mean, well, them as my starter. Sorry. I just think that skill wise and ability to like knock down shots. I mean, they're probably the most lethal 2-man, I would think, in that lineup.
I don't think that's a bad take. I really don't. Arguably the greatest point guard ever. Magic and him are 1 and 2, no matter how you put it. And probably a objective top 5 scorer ever. That's not a bad take.
I mean, they were only together for what, 3 years?
3 years, yeah.
3 years, 2 championships. Wait,
No, I thought they were
Yes.
only together 2 years.
3 years. 2
What year-
championships. They lost to Toronto their third year.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right.
had they?
I always forget
yeah,
about that year.
But that was Katie was already injured, right? And so was
And,
like
and Clay.
yeah.
Okay, but Clay got injured game 6 when they lost with like 7 minutes left, and they're already
Yeah.
losing.
For
So
sure.
I don't count Clay was out that series because he wasn't.
Yeah, I just but looking at what they were doing to the league when they were together,
Dude.
I think that shows a lot. Like had they stayed together for a longer period of time, who knows how many championships? Maybe they would still be winning them right now. Honestly,
Shit, you're not wrong.
Man, this is tough. I'm probably gonna go MJ Pippen 1 for all my old heads out there. Can't deny 6 championships. You can't deny 6 championships.
Oh,
Kev,
I can.
you wanna get on this podcast and point at your fingers about AD? Well, here's 6 of them, bud. Don't shake your fucking head at me. MJ and
Eat
Pippen.
shit, fat ass.
MJ and Pippen number 1, and then I'm gonna cut. Oof, I am going to cut. I'm gonna cut Braun and Wade. I'm gonna cut Braun and Wade. Lost to the Mavericks, lost to the Spurs. Said they were gonna win 7 championships, only won 2. I'm gonna cut Braun and Wade. I'm going to trade Shaq and Kobe.
That happened.
I'm gonna trade Shaq and Kobe because of the problems between them, the static between them, the friction, and I don't think you can get as many good years out of them as you could with MJ and Pippen. And then I'm gonna bench Clay and Curry. And I know I just said you don't get as many good years out of them, but that's only because that wasn't because of friction. I think KD just wanted his own team. And like, yeah, Kobe wanted his own team, but like there was no like beef with Curry and KD. There was beef with KD and Draymond. So I don't know how all that plays into this. I don't know how deep we're thinking, but just simply scoring and as players, KD and Curry in their prime, that's crazy. So I'm gonna bench them.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I'll probably tail your list too. I'll probably switch Jordan and Pippen and then KD and Curry though. Just like a, modern day basketball viewer, younger soul. I'm not naive to the fact of what Jordan and Pippen did 800 years ago. Yeah, I know they won 6 rings, but I like your list. I'm gonna piggyback yours, but I'm gonna have that little flip in there.
I also want to emphasize that Jordan and Pippen are taller. They're guard and small forward instead of power forward and point guard. So I think they're just more versatile, and they're also much better defensively as a duo. So I'm gonna throw that in there too for why I chose them number one. But Vic, or go ahead, Daniel.
I was just gonna say, I think if we are talking about a league with like plumbers and politicians, I'm taking MJ and Pippen number one too. But if you're telling me that if KD and Curry got dropped in the way that they play basketball right now into any of those years, that they wouldn't accuse those men of fucking being part of the Illuminati or witchcraft or some crap.
It would have burned them to the stake.
They would hang them on a cross and fucking burn them in the middle of town.
I'm gonna keep it real, man. This might be a hot take to y'all, but I think Pippen can guard KD. I really do, and I'm not saying
You're smoking
that,
dick, buddy.
I'm not saying
That's fucking
bro,
crazy.
Scottie Pippen's one of the greatest defenders ever, man. And
30 years ago,
defense is like, it's not like offense. Like defense carries. Like a guy from the old days, defense is completely effort and athleticism, pretty much. There's some skill to it. There's some skill to it, but any player, like their defense is different. Defense can translate to today's NBA.
I've hated the argument that defense is all effort.
No,
I've seen Daniel try his absolute hardest to guard me, and he can't. So, like, that argument that defense is all effort, yes, effort plays a big part.
I didn't say it was all effort, though. I didn't say it was all effort.
You almost did.
I didn't, though. I said there's skill to it. I said it's mainly effort and athleticism.
You kind of wanted to in a way. But a lot of people argue that defense is all effort. Yes, effort plays a really big part in being a good defender and playing defense. But, bro, if you suck at defense and you can't guard shit, effort can't do anything to help you.
But that's not Pippen or Jordan, though. Like, Pippen and Jordan they had the skill, too, that you're talking about.
Okay, so, like, some of the notable players that Pippen had to guard, can you name a few?
Karl Malone, Larry Bird.
Can you name a better hooper than Karl Malone?
I'm trying to think, bro. You put me on the spot. I'm thinking, bro. Chill.
I'm trying to.
I'm trying
to think too, for real. Like,
there's also no player on that list. Even if you could name 50 more names, there's no one on that list that would do what KD does. Like, no one. No, not Larry Bird, not Karl Malone. No one is dishing that ball from 40 feet, from 20 feet, from right in front of it, dunking it from wherever. Like it I don't know. I just
not even Clyde Drexler.
I did not say that Scottie Pippen would lock down and hold KD to 0 points.
But you wanted to.
No, I didn't. Now you're just putting words in my mouth. You're putting words in my mouth. No, I said that. I said that he can guard KD. He can hold his own against KD. And I'm not saying I think Curry would score more than KD would. I think Pippen on KD is a better matchup than Curry on Jordan. And Jordan is the better defender. And I honestly think Michael Jordan at full effort could contain Curry. I'm not saying he would stop Curry. I'm saying he could contain. And I think Scottie Pippen could contain KD.
So
but what about the other end? Neither of them can guard. Neither, like you guys are coming at me because these two can't guard them. What about them guarding Jordan and Pippen? There's no fucking way.
Yes,
there's no way.
That's a good point.
Yes,
yeah, like if you flip
you're gonna try
defensively.
You're telling me Stephen Curry can guard Michael Jordan? You're fucking smoking dick. That's smoking dick.
He could give a great effort. He could have a great night.
But like you said, he could give a
Just need
great
one
effort
good
and it
night.
won't fucking
Just
mean
need one good
anything.
night. Huh?
You just said he can give a great effort and it won't mean anything. Now you're telling me, oh, Curry could give a great effort on Jordan. What are you talking about? That's the complete opposite of what you said.
No,
What you
I'll
talking
give you.
about?
I
You're
know what the
smoking.
fuck I said.
Nah, you hit the Benjamin before this pod. You're smoking. Vic, tell him. Vic, tell him they're
No,
smoking right now.
Yeah, they're
I am
smoking a little.
No. Hey, okay, hold
I
on.
am stone fucking sober. Victor, don't feel like you have to piggyback off this idiot.
No,
every
bro,
time
I agree with
every
them.
time he says some shit. No,
I-
because
no,
you
no.
didn't say shit the past 10 minutes and now you just agreeing.
Y'all tripping, bro. Okay,
Huh?
let's say I think here's the bottom line. Bottom line. Final thing I'm gonna say. I promise. Last thing I'm gonna say about this. Pippen and Jordan can contain Curry and KD. They're not gonna stop them. They're not gonna hold them to 0 points. They can contain them. But on the other end, Curry and KD cannot contain Jordan and Pippen.
Okay, real quick, I just want to say something. Number one, you did flip that argument on its head because I did not really think too much about KD and Curry having to defend against Pippen and Jordan. Jordan, yes, would be probably very successful at guarding Curry in terms of anywhere with inside that 3-point line. And even if he's doing a press and he's on him at the 3-point line, probably is going to lock down some shots. Jordan was 6'6", Curry, I think he's 6'3", 6'4", somewhere around there. So even just that height difference and physicality difference between those two players, yeah, absolutely, Jordan's going to be able to hold his own against Curry. Pippen and KD, I do agree with you that he'd be able to hold his own, but KD's still dropping 30, like he does on everyone. Like KD's 100% going to drop that many points. Here's the other thing. I don't think Jordan and Pippen would know what the hell to do when they are right in front of Curry or KD's face with their hand in their face and they knock down a three. And neither of those two, Pippen or Jordan, were good at shooting threes. So if they can defend the 3-point line and just basically Jordan and Pippen have to rely on their mid-range and their ability to like knock down layups, that game is going to Curry and KD. But you did get me with that lockdown. Yeah, Curry and KD getting guarded by Jordan and Pippen is true.
So you don't think KD can guard Scottie Pippen?
Me?
Miles.
Bro, he can guard him.
I think he can guard Pippen,
Okay.
but
I was getting ready.
I was
getting ready to smash everything in my fucking sight if you were gonna tell me that KD can't guard Scottie Pippen. I swear to God, bro.
No, KD can obviously. KD's he's not a bad defender by any means. KD can guard Scottie Pippen. I may have made it seem like he can't, but no, I'm logical. I know that he can, but I think that Jordan on Curry is just a complete mismatch. I think that's enough for me to put them over.
For sure, yeah. It definitely is the Curry and Jordan. But halfway through when Daniel was making his point, like a thought just clicked in my head. I was like, wait, did Miles say that KD can't guard Scottie Pippen? I was like, I gotta ask this shit when he's done talking.
I think
just eating away at me.
If it's 2-on-2, Jordan and Pippen win. KD can guard Pippen, but it's gonna be really hard to guard Pippen when Curry's getting cooked.
I just hate that this is never gonna happen.
Curry would not be getting cooked though. Come on,
It
now.
happened black.
We're giving way too much. Okay, listen.
In the post, bro.
In the post, but again, we're talking about
listen,
Curry
Daniel.
from outside of the mid-range and the three. I understand that Jordan was an athletic like phenom, and I understand that he could close out space. But we're talking about a player on defense that can close out space against other dudes that at the time weren't as skilled as they are now. And on top of that, Curry is probably one of the best players that ever to create space off of shots. He is the master at being 1 inch away from you and then 5 feet away from you enough to where he can make a shot. You can't tell me that Curry would not have at least like, no. I understand that point that defensively, Michael Jordan would be on his ass, but I just have this image in my head of Curry literally still being able to. He would. There's no doubt in my mind that he would. He would still create 5 feet of distance, and even if Jordan closed him out and pushed him to the ground, he'd still make one of the circus shots that are apparently to him a 50% chance. Go ahead.
Okay, but if it's a 2v2, Curry's not going to be running around like a damn little kid behind screens. He's going to have to get some isolation buckets in there. You know that, right?
one-on-one isolation, I still think okay, I wouldn't take Curry over Jordan, but in terms of what he can do with the ball, that is a tough matchup. It's not easy. It's not like Jordan would get the ball every time from him, and it's definitely not like Jordan would be able to completely contest every single one of his shots to the point where he wouldn't make any. We got to do this in 2K or something.
We do have to do this shit in 2K. All right.
I think we've hit on all the points though.
All right, so moving on from that little debacle of a conversation right there.
That's
right
crazy.
now we're gonna move on to some early NBA season hot takes that I found on TikTok and X the past few days. I almost said Twitter. It's not Twitter no more. All right. First hot take. Warriors missed the playoffs. Debate.
Hell no. They're making the playoffs.
They're gonna make the playoffs. They'll bounce back.
They'll make the playoffs.
Who said that?
Huh?
Kevin on a
Who said
burner.
that?
My
Kevin
burner
on a
account.
burner.
Hey, they're 8th right now in the West. They're 6-6. They're not playing
Bruh.
great on the road. They're falling apart a little bit.
Weren't
They're
they
so-
seventh?
getting to
They
the-
were 7th last year, and they still beat the 2 seed.
They were 6th last year, and they beat the 3 seed.
I will say that Kevin brings
Okay,
up a
good
good
point.
point. Their inability to win outside of home it was something that was really prevalent last year and that really showed up in the playoffs. So this year, if they can't make that change of being able to win outside of home, it's not impossible for them to miss the playoffs. But I do agree with Victor and Miles. I think they will pull through and get it.
Here's a hot take.
I
They're gonna
think-
be better with Kuminga starting instead of Draymond.
100%. I would hope so. And I
I don't
think
even think that's a hot take. Like, I think that's just facts. Like, okay, yeah, I definitely think the Warriors are going to make the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to be too high of a seed.
No.
I agree.
Like, I think they'll finish higher than 8th, and if they are the 8th seed, then they're going to be in the play, and they're going to have to fight for that. But I don't really see them cracking anything lower than 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5 or lower.
I got them
It's
6.
pretty crazy.
You got them
Finishing
what?
6. I'm saying like I expect them to finish 6th.
Oh, okay. The camera zoom is hilarious.
Yeah.
Did you move away from your thing? Because now I
No.
see everything. Yeah, you did it. There's no
I-
way you didn't move.
I damn near see bro's whole house.
Dude, it
Bro
zoomed
went
out.
one-
It zoomed
bro.
out, showed his crotch, and then zoomed back in.
Victor's like this in one frame, and then the next one he's like this, and he's like, "No, I didn't move. I didn't move."
He's like, I got him 6, cross shot, back in.
He's fucking. I got 6. He's in the garage. All right.
Bro, it just moved out. I don't know. I can't fix it.
All right, moving on to the second hot take I got here, and I actually really like this one. I wouldn't even call this one a hot take. Again, I'd call it facts. Milwaukee Bucks finish as the 3rd seed in the East at best. Debate.
I don't know about at best.
Wait,
At best.
Milwaukee finishes 3rd in the East.
At best.
No, in the
I mean,
South.
I picked Sixers to be 2 and Boston to be 1. I did pick that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
when?
No. You
When?
picked like
Yeah.
Toronto to be
Yeah,
second.
exactly,
and
Victor,
fucking
thank you.
Orlando
he
to
had
be one.
76ers second, which I was like, whoa, I had them
Wait,
4th.
when?
yeah,
When?
we did our
He-
picks early before the season started, and I said
Hey.
that I saw the Sixers in second, and I thought the Bucks. I thought one of those teams between the Bucks and the Celtics weren't going to live up to the hype with either the addition of Damian Lillard or Porzingis, and then
You
I said that
chose-
I chose Boston. Yeah, I chose
Yeah.
Boston to be successful with Porzingis. I didn't say that Bucks would be
Wow.
like 3rd, 4th, or 5th, but I did say that they would be 3rd.
We
or
gotta
4th.
get that as a flashback short. Show the fans that Daniel knows his shit, dude. That
So Celtics at 1. At 2, I think it's going to be someone like the 76ers. I'm not 100% sold on that, but I could see it being them, maybe the Cavs. At 3, I see the Bucks.
because at that time I vaguely
doesn't know
remember
shit.
that, and I remember that shit. I was like, "That's hot, bro. That's a hot take."
Hey,
Sixers
no-
second.
Yeah, you clowned me and Daniel for putting the Sixers pretty high up.
I did too.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
guys
even
said
gonna
they were
lie.
going to be outside
Vic-
of like the top 5, I think, or something like that.
Vic, who said you put the Sixers up high?
I put them at 4th, and then
Yeah.
after
That's not
like,
2.
Yeah, but like you were like, because we were doing top 5, and you were like, man, like y'all got the 76ers too high.
Damn. Y'all have faith in the Sixers, man. I hate the
Uh,
Sixers though. As a
you're
Celtics fan, I was probably
you're like,
biased.
no, and
I
then
don't
you were
like the
like,
Sixers either.
You two
you're
were
like,
very set, and I think even Victor on Boston and Bucks being 1 and 2 in the East. And I
Yeah.
was like, "There's that will not happen."
I think I also put the Hawks as a 5th seed, and that's not looking great, bro.
Yeah, you were
That's not looking
tripping on
great,
that,
bro.
bro.
I thought
You
they
were-
were gonna have a bounce back season, bro.
Actually,
Oh.
no. That's
They're
not
fifth
crazy.
right
The Hawks are 5th right now.
Okay.
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 I just know.
But we have 72
yeah.
games left.
Yeah. So, fuck you guys. I was right too.
Yeah, bro was scared to say fuck you.
So
All right. You're in whisper it. Say it with your chest, bitch.
I command the room. Just being here.
with the
All right,
vest
I'm
on,
gonna go. I'm gonna
Yes, sir.
go ahead and move on to the third hot take here. Second to last. Tyrese Halliburton is the best point guard in the East and top 3 in the league.
I could have sworn that's just your take.
No.
Is that just you? Because you said that to
No.
me earlier. You
I said he
texted
was
me
the point.
that.
No. I said he was the best point guard in the East. I didn't say he was top 3 in the league.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I just heard the first part. Let me, you know what? Y'all debate this. I'm gonna do some research while y'all talk.
Yeah,
I'm
man,
not gonna
same
lie.
here.
I thought we talk about this at the beginning.
No, we didn't. But I brought it up earlier. We mentioned earlier that he's the best point guard in the East, but I'm not focused on being the best point guard in the East. I'm saying top 3 in the league. Right now, I think he's playing like a top 3 point guard in the league. But do I think he's a top 3 point guard in the league? I think that's a little bit of a long shot. Because we still have Curry, we still have Luka, we still have fucking
Lillard.
whoever else. Lillard.
Well, not this
But
season.
Yeah,
not
but
this season.
you know what I'm saying.
Tyrese is way better than Lillard. But
I'd agree
Luka
with,
and Curry
And
are better.
let's give our flowers to Jamal Murray as well. He
not-
deserves to be at least in this conversation. Maybe not top 3, but mentioned.
Maybe
Why
if
do
he
you
played
say that?
basketball.
why do you say
He's
that?
hurt.
I'm just saying nobody gives him. I mean, he's hurt is one thing, but like no one gives him the respect he deserves.
Well, because
He's a great point guard.
he is a
Oh,
great point guard,
he
and
is.
I think I said this before, like why we don't really talk about him. I mean, the dude hasn't been selected for an All-Star like appearance, I don't think yet. So, he definitely is going under the radar as one of the better point guards in the league. But you brought up a good point, because I wanted to reference, like, in terms of who's playing best right now, Tyrese Halliburton definitely is playing as one of the top 3 point guards in the league. I can't really think of too many names that come to mind. But if you're talking like overall, well, there's a lot of guys that are point guards that have rings and that, are established good players. But right now, yeah, Tyrese Halliburton is a top 3 point guard this season so far.
Do we think he's better than Trae Young? Just
Yes.
in
Right
general.
now, yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Consensus is yes.
100%.
I don't think Trae Young is like super far behind him though. If we're putting Tyrese ahead,
I think he just offers the team more than Trae Young.
Trae Young's like a consistent 25 and 10.
But he's also the worst defender in the league.
Is Halliburton a great defender though? I'm pretty sure they hide him on defense. The Pacers.
He's not a great defender, but he's a solid, serviceable defender. He gets steals in the passing lanes a lot.
I love serviceable players.
He's averaging 1.1 steals right now.
But yeah, top 3, a little bit of a stretch. Pretty soon though, maybe in a few years, he can crack that top 3 point guards in the league. But right now, I feel like Curry, Luka are definitely better than him, as well as maybe John Morant, but he's not really playing right now.
That is true. Hey, I just want to mention Trae Young's 1.6 steals a game. So what y'all got to say about that?
Okay, but what about
Betting.
defensive efficiency? Steals doesn't determine if you're a good defender or not.
I only brought it up because Vic said it. All right. That's all. That's the only reason I said it. Trae Young has more steals.
When we were talking
Do
about
you
steals
want-
in the
do you
passing
want-
lane, I
do
just
you
wanted
wanna
to look it
trade-
up.
Sorry.
I just think we disrespect Trae Young too much on this podcast. Kev
I
especially.
think he's a great player.
Kev disrespects Trae Young.
I like Trae Young and back him up, but I'm also not going to hide the fact that he is the worst defender in the NBA. He's a liability. He can't guard shit.
Worst in the NBA?
Yes, he is.
I'm gonna take a screenshot of like Trae Young and like Bleacher Report's Instagram page, and then like make it into a trade thing and say breaking news, and have Trae Young in a Celtics jersey, and then I want to see how you react to it.
I would not like that trade at all.
No.
I wouldn't want him on the Celtics. That doesn't prove anything. That's a system thing. You know what? Fuck this shit. Get into the next damn fucking hot take.
No, I like Trae
Damn.
Young. He's cool. He's a good player. We
I like
we
him
shit
too.
on him a lot, but he's a good player.
All right. So the last hot take I got for us tonight: Donovan Mitchell is better than SGA.
No.
Are they not the same player? Same exact?
I think they're close, but SGA is better.
I'm only gonna say Donovan Mitchell right now is better because Donovan Mitchell has been in the playoffs. He hasn't been very deep, but I don't really know how far SGA can take a team in the playoffs yet. So
Yeah,
right
that's a good
now I'm
point.
going to say Donovan Mitchell's better than SGA.
I think defensively too, SGA is better.
I don't think
But
either of
it's
them are great,
close.
but yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I feel like the gap between them, one of them obviously is better than the other, but I feel like whoever is better, the gap isn't that big. Neither of
Yeah.
them are
think-
guarding
yeah.
the best player on the floor or second best.
I do. I think I've said this before that I do think that Donovan Mitchell is like in the and I know it's hard to say like in the future because he doesn't have an unlimited amount of time, but I do see him being one of the better players in the league. He just needs to find the right home. So I like Donovan Mitchell over SGA, but I think SGA is in a really good system and a really good city right now, especially with kind of what they're looking like and how many talented tools they have. If Donovan Mitchell was on a team like that, I think he is a better player overall, personally.
Like
But
he
like
is.
Kevin said,
I feel like the Cavs aren't terrible. I like their squad.
Here's something to think about. If you put Donovan Mitchell on the Thunder, do you think he's putting up even crazier stats than
No.
SGA does?
I do.
I think it's about the same.
I mean, I feel like he'd probably average around the same amount of points. They already do average around the same amount. So
I do think though that he would become kind of the center of that team. Veteran presence, a skilled ball handler. Like they're probably going to give him more of the reins than anybody else on OKC, honestly, right now.
Donovan Mitchell is also a lot better of a 3-point shooter than SGA is. SGA doesn't really shoot threes like that. So maybe if he can find more opportunities to like play catch and shoot, run off some screens, he could probably average a few more points, but I don't think it'd be anything like exceptional.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm personally going to go SGA, but not by much.
Yeah, I mean the gap's not big at all. Like I said, I want to see SGA in the playoffs because I'm not too completely sold on him yet. If I'm being honest, to me, like he's like Donovan Mitchell, a guy that can score. So
Seeing
I gotta see
Donovan
him in the playoffs.
Mitchell absolutely take over games though is like one of my favorite things to watch in the NBA. Because when he takes over, it's insane.
He's
He
fun to
doesn't
watch.
miss.
He's
He
fun. He's
doesn't
fun to
miss.
watch,
Yeah,
man.
no, dude's got the microwave badge for sure. Like when he gets hot, bro. Like it can be pretty crazy. I watched him drop 70 on my favorite team for fuck's sake.
Same. I was about to
What?
bring that up.
Yeah. All right. But
It's so fun being a Bulls fan.
Wait, how did you guys both say?
it is.
Oh, never mind.
It's dope having championships won and most of them not being in the 1950s when there was 4 teams in the league. But
Crazy that we have a more recent
We're gonna-
championship than you, though.
yeah, it took 4 All-Stars. And you only won 1.
Yeah. If LeBron wanted to go to Chicago, you could have got one, but you didn't want to go there. Shitty team.
That's fine. Shitty team. They were first in the East at the time, I believe. They actually were.
How'd that work out?
We had a young star who got injured. You might have heard of him. Happens though. We'll be back.
Shout out Tibbs.
Shout out Tibbs. But wrapping up today's episode, we'll be talking about the Bulls. Bulls and Zach Lavine are entertaining trade talks. Both of them are kind of easing in and buying into the fact that Zach Lavine might get traded. The Lakers and the Heat are the new front runners to land Zach Lavine. The Philadelphia 76ers are completely out. We talked about that a few weeks ago. Why would Philly trade for Zach Lavine? They don't really need that. Shit, they might have watched our episode because they listened to no way. Not trading for him. I don't think they should. They're sitting at the top of the East right now. A pretty good record, 8-2. They have Tyrese Maxey, who's averaging damn near 30 right now. They don't really need Zach Lavine. But maybe the Lakers or the Heat could. The Heat definitely could because they're kind of lacking right now. Jimmy Butler isn't playing too hot. Hero started off pretty solid to play the season. Bum Adebayo can't figure out if he's good at basketball or not. It's
the hardest player to prize pick, man. The hardest player.
I'm gonna move on. But yeah, there's just been a lot of disputes the past few weeks with Zach Lavine and the Bulls. Honestly, as a Bulls fan, I can't stand watching the same mid-ass team for another season. They gotta blow it up. And one of the main things that I read earlier today, this little report came out. It said that Zach Lavine has never gotten over Billy Donovan benching him late versus the Orlando Magic on November 18th of 2022. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's just petty, bro. Grow up.
Exactly, bro. At that point, just get his ass out of here. I love Zach Lavine. He's a great player. We paid him pretty good. And
handsomely. You paid him handsomely, if you will.
Handsomely, yeah. That's a very good term. But bro, he just hasn't improved the past 2-3 seasons. I don't want to say he's regressed because I definitely don't think he's gotten worse. But if you didn't get better, shit, you might as well have gotten worse. His playmaking didn't make any jump. His defense didn't make any jump. His scoring is the exact same, actually even a little bit worse. He's not shooting as effectively. It doesn't really seem like he's a team player. And he also said himself, we're almost going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't think so, though. But he says it's just an upsetting thing when you've been trying to do the right thing the last 3 to 4 years, and it seems like we're in the same place. Hey, maybe the team's in the same place because you're in the same place. You haven't gotten better, you bum. It's that simple. Is that what you were gonna say?
Yeah, that's the exact same thing I was gonna say. It's like, dude, how, that just sounds like so hypocritical. Like you're part of the reason why we haven't gotten better.
Exactly. He was DeMar did step in and he kind of took over the keys to the offense, but you should still be averaging a good amount of points and be getting better. You're a young guy and he just simply hasn't. So I just think it's kind of counterintuitive saying that, we're in the same place. Well, maybe if you got a little bit better throughout the years like NBA players should, we'd have a few more wins under our belt. It's pretty simple if you ask me.
I wonder if Lonzo is faking an injury to get out of Chicago. Dude, I know how dumb that is, and obviously I'm just messing around. Pretty dumb. And I'm just messing around, but man, I'm just thinking about the value that the city of Chicago has right now as a basketball team, and it's zero. I mean, I don't know. I guess if we're talking on what trade makes the most sense, the Lakers, I think it would just be, I would not want to see Zach Lavine go to the Lakers just because I think that it would just be more of the same with them. Yeah, they're a good team. They're top 5. They may have a chance at the playoffs, but nothing really changes for them, in my opinion. Now, the Heat being in the East, that does changes a few things. I think that, with Jimmy Butler and a few of the other guys that they have on that team, adding Zach Lavine would be huge for them. So I would like that trade to probably go through to the Heat. But, what the hell do either of those teams have to offer each other, really? That makes sense. I can't really think of.
Here, I got a trade idea. So I saw this one. It was Lakers get Lavine and Alex Caruso. Bulls get Rui, Austin Reeves, D'Lo, and a 2029 first-round pick.
So we're just flip-flopping.
I kind of like it.
I kind of like it in a way, too. I'm not crazy on D'Lo. But as I was reading one of the articles earlier, it did say that realistically, some combination of D'Lo, Rui, Taurean Prince, maybe even Jalen Hood-Schifino, and draft capital would be needed to make a part for a Zach Lavine trade. But the big question is how confident does LA feel when it comes to breaking apart that current squad that they have? and sending away some of these guys. Rui's pretty important. So is Taurean Prince. He's a starter.
It's kind of counterintuitive to what they said before the season, where they said they're going to return a lot of their roster to build chemistry. It wouldn't make sense to just bulldoze that and then go into win now mode with a trade like that.
But we know that that's what they're doing. Like I feel like we could see that coming from a mile away. That yeah, they're gonna say that like, oh, we're gonna try to build chemistry this season. It's only gonna last a season or two. They're gonna start getting rid of guys the moment that they do not win the finals this year. Not even a season, yeah. And the thing is too is like the Lakers, I think are 100% not going to switch off of Austin Reeves. I think if there's one thing that works on their current roster, it is that. And so, which is a huge shift on my part, because at one point I said that he's not worth the money. But again, I said maybe he is, whatever. I think that if they were to separate themselves from Austin Reeves, that is the biggest like thing that they could possibly do. That is the worst possible thing that they could do, to separate themselves from Austin Reeves, especially when the system is working. And who are you trading him for? Not really a whole lot of better of a situation.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna let y'all talk this out. I'm popcorn observing over here because you guys are the Bulls fans.
I mean, I like the idea of this trade, but I don't see the Lakers giving up Austin Reeves, like Daniel said. It's going to be something like the Bulls are probably going to get like a lot of picks in return and maybe 2 role players or something from that's the way I could see it working out.
I kind of just, as a Bulls fan, I do definitely want to see a change made. Like I said, I'm kind of sick and tired of watching this team. Whether they do decide to trade Zach Lavine or DeMar DeRozan at this point, I really don't care who it is. Make a change. A change is needed. I like the idea of bringing Rui in. I like Rui a lot, but I really don't think the Lakers would give up Taurean Prince though in this deal. I feel like the 2 players that they would most likely give up in this scenario would be Rui, D'Lo, and then draft capital would follow that. And then from there, they would acquire Lavine and maybe someone else from Chicago. I don't think they want to give up too much. 2 current players on their rosters at most, and then draft capital. But that's
do they
just
even have draft capital to give?
I doubt it.
I mean, maybe if they don't, they'll probably throw in Jalen Hood-Schifino in there. I mean, he was the early draft pick. He hasn't really played a whole lot. I think he's dealing with a little bit of injury right now, but he has a lot of promise. Maybe that could make up for it. But I don't really know how much draft capital they have either, with all the moves that they've been making.
And the Bulls have nothing, right? Like for the next few years. It's either that they have a lot of picks or they have absolutely dog shit until like 2028.
We don't have much picks coming in. We could have had a good pick last year, but we fell within the top 4. And then the pick went to Orlando, I believe, because it was part of the Vucevic trade.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Vucevic.
I'm getting to that point where I'm kind of in the same, like as a fan of Chicago sports, excluding baseball and hockey. I mean, definitely blow it up, but also like, how the hell did we get ourselves into a situation? I mean, Lonzo going out would definitely hurt us huge. At one point, we were, very high up in the East, but to me, it's just like we hold no value, like in terms of draft picks. We hold no real players that yield like a good return. We don't have any real money. Like we can't go out and get anyone or offer them an incentive to want to play in Chicago, and I don't know.
It's the same cycle every year. Like you get excited, like, oh, like maybe the Bulls or Bears like signed this player, and like, oh, the season's gonna be different this year, and then it just doesn't go as expected, and then it's like, oh, I'm done being a Bulls or Bears fan, and then the same thing happens in the off season again, and then it just repeats. It's a constant cycle. But
my bad.
No, I was gonna say it did start off good, like when they got this new GM and they got like Caruso, they got DeRozan, and then they got Lonzo. It was looking like it was gonna be a good like mixture, good fit. Like it was a nice change. Like the Bulls are finally making some good offseason moves. It did work for a bit, but then like it fell apart, and I do want to see them blow this team up. I want to see them trade Lavine. I want to see them trade Vucevic. I want to see them trade DeMar. I want a complete rebuild. I don't want them to trade Lavine and then still try to work DeMar DeRozan and Vucevic. It just at that point I don't want that. I'm sick of that. I want a complete rebuild.
Yeah,
I was
DeRozan
gonna
and Vuce
say,
are aging too, so I'd rather trade them than get nothing for him because
Yeah.
we kind of gave up a good amount to get both those guys, and we know how that works.
Shoot, send him back to the Spurs. Let him finish his career out with Pop and let us get Devin Vassell or Wemby. I don't know.
you think they're
One of
gonna
those
trade
two.
Wemby and Vassell for DeRozan?
For DeRozan and Vuce,
That'd be funny. You guys seem
true.
really down in the dumps. Like, especially Vic, bro. Vic sounded so sad talking about this team.
it is sad, bro. Like
It's
watching this
depressing.
fucking team, it's horrible. It's very depressing. Like you're Chicago, you have one of the best markets, and you can't even formulate a decent team.
It's also, I
Sad.
think it's also, sorry.
No, that was it.
I was just gonna say, like, I think it's also frustrating when it seems like we as the fans care more than the organization. The organization like refuses to try anything, it seems like, to make this team more elite and better. They're just like, all right, we're gonna try to win with what we've got. It's like, well, you're not winning, so maybe it's time to switch things up.
No, they're like stubborn. They like just like love to hold on to these players too. It's just like trade them. That's not working. I don't know, man.
When push comes to shove, they're not as stubborn as the Toronto Raptors. So that's always a win.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, man, I know the Lakers and the Heat are probably top landing spots for Zach Lavine, but watch it just be like he's gonna get traded to the I don't know.
The Magic
Like-
for Wendell Carter Jr.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
that's
We
what I'm
get-
saying. But
You know it's weird.
Get
I was gonna
Wendell
say
Carter back.
Magic.
But that's kind of what I mean too in terms of like the value that they hold. Like they don't have any players that like they could trade for anybody worthwhile. Like Zach Levine's like in that category of player, I feel like he's the best that they can do.
I wanted to bring this up earlier. Okay, this might be a hot take, but how far do we think Tyler Hero is from Zach Levine? Do you think it would be better for the Heat to just keep Hero and let him develop more than to trade him? Because I would assume undoubtedly they would have to give up Hero for Levine, right?
I mean, I feel like that's not even what the Bulls are kind of focused on. I feel like they're low-key focused on maybe blowing it up, and they don't even want Tyler Hero. They might just be focused on draft capital and some of like the younger pieces they have, like Nikola Jovic, Martin,
Haywood Highsmith.
Haywood Highsmith. Yeah, exactly. Like
Jaime.
I don't even
Yeah,
think
give us
Jaime
Jaime.
too.
Give us
Like
Jaime.
I don't even think a Hero would be a part of that deal. They've expressed, Pat Riley said a few weeks ago that Tyler Hero was never a part of any trade over the offseason. They never even considered it. So I don't know why they would do it for Zach Levine. If they weren't going to throw him in for Dame, they're not going to throw him in for Zach Levine.
Did Pat
a good
Riley
point.
tell Tyler Hero that when he took Heat out of his bio and changed his profile picture to black?
Players
Did
do
Pat
dumb,
Riley
weird
ever
shit like
have
that,
that
okay.
conversation with him to make sure he
You know
knew
what?
that?
You know what? I don't know, but it doesn't matter because he's on the Heat now and he can't cry anymore.
True.
So,
True.
Vic, real quick, where are we at with time?
It's got to be an hour and 30 something.
Bam, spot on. Hour
Should we cap
32.
it?
Yeah.
Who's doing the outro?
Hold on. Let me. All right,
Dude, did you see him?
Splash
He's lit up.
some water in your face. Come on.
dude. I gotta edit this part in somewhere else. All right. If you guys made it this far in the pod, please give us. Why'd you do that face, dude?
I'm sorry. You fucking. It was away from. It was.
Guys,
It was so zoomed out that when you went
If
like
you
this,
made it this
hey
far,
guys.
you're bad.
Kind of sound like
I'm
Trump.
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Did I really?
drop something in the comments for the gift card giveaway.
No,
right.
we're not doing that. Vic's
Hold on.
no.
I'm gonna
It
do
doesn't
this
have
part.
to be. It doesn't have to be a Kevin. Diss,
Miles,
it
you
be
can do the
anything.
outro and you can do that part. But Hold on.
Aw.
He's doing the subscribe and like that he's going to throw in the middle
Yeah.
of the video right now.
Okay.
That's going to wrap it up for today's pod, everybody. As always, thank you for watching. If you like our content, be sure to like and subscribe. We got a few new videos coming out. We're going to kind of push our limits here on the channel for more than just the pod. As always, if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, it's a huge help to rate and comment on the podcast if you enjoy it. And as always, thank you to our sponsor, Fat Dan's. Like down below, comment Fat Dan's gift card for a $10 Fat Dan's gift card, courtesy of Good Morning Let's Basketball if you've made it this far. As always, have a good day, and thank you for watching.